Japanese knives can cut food beautifully. The question we're wondering though is if they can julienne this entire phone book. We're making a phone book coleslaw. We're going to shred. Hi there, I'm Naoto, one of the knife nerds here at Knifewear. Today, we're going to try out the collection of knives to see which one is the best to slice up this phone book. This isn't an experiment because we know that the knives are sharp enough to cut through the phone book. But which knife is going to make the job the easiest possible? Before we start, we know cutting the paper isn't the best for your edge, but cutting the phone book this way tells you how toothy the edge is. Why would you want a toothy edge? Well, because subtle toothiness allows the knife to glide through tough skins like tomatoes and peppers more smoothly and can make your knife feel sharper. The phone book helps you find this perfect balance. So the first knife is Haruyuki Kokuto Santoku. This knife has enough toothiness to it and has enough length to it, so it cuts in one slice. It's not as smooth as it could be, but as an out-of-box edge, this is going to be the most versatile edge possible. And it has enough clearance so that you don't bump your knuckles when you're cutting. Oh, this is fantastic. This is enough toothiness to it. It's not as smooth as it could be, but an out-of-box knife, this is going to be as versatile as possible. Phone book approved. Second knife here is Nigara Hamono Aogami Super with stainless clad kiritsuke Gyuto 240 mm. This kiritsuke shape is a very good multi-purpose knife. It has enough length to cut most stuff in the kitchen. Like a Gyuto, it has enough height so that you don't bump your knuckles when you're cutting food or the phone book. This is also long enough for carving up the roast or ham. And how about well done phone book? Let's find out. This is interesting. This knife has a bit more smoothness to it, which is fantastic if you want to slice a tomato. This knife would also be good if you are slicing down the chicken breast or thigh. You want a knife like this if you want smooth, precise cutting. So, this knife is good for raw meat, but if you are cutting a beef roast with the hard crust, you might want a knife with a little bit more teeth. When it comes to cutting the phone book, this knife might not be your best choice. So, the third knife is Tojiro DP Nakiri. This Nakiri is a perfect knife for the first-time Japanese knife buyers. It's an excellent value, but as you can see, it does not have hammer marks or other typical Japanese knife visuals. But this knife is really sharp. It's made of VG10 stainless steel. That means it will stay super sharp and it won't rust. I would consider this knife one of the best valued in all knifewear. So let's see how it slices this phone book. Whoa, this does fantastic on the phone book. And I can tell you that this knife is going to be amazing on tomato and pepper skins as well. And that's what the Nakiri is for, vegetables. And phone books apparently. So if you need more fiber in your phone book diet, this is the knife for you. Next knife is Fujimoto Nashiji honesuki. A honesuki is a knife meant for butchering game or poultry. As you can see, this is a smaller knife, so maybe that means it's going to be harder to cut the phone book. Let's see what happens. There's little struggle here, but if I do a small piece, it works much better. This is pretty good. It has a bit of toothiness, but I also feel that it has a lot of smoothness to the edge as well. I think that this is a very well balanced knife. This will be good as a small utility knife because of that balance. It's awesome for kitchen and the yellow pages. So the fifth knife is Sakai Kikumori Tomoshibi deba 180 millimeters. This is a special knife for two reasons. First, because it is a single bevel knife. Second, because it's meant for fish butchering. Fish butchering, you want to have much toothier edge. This helps you cut through fish skins. You don't want your knife blades to slide around when you're cutting fish. Hopefully, this knife will cut this phonebook like it cuts salmon's skin. Remember, this is a single bevel edge knife, so it is for right-handed people. Well, I can tell that this knife has a lot of toothiness to it, but sometimes if it has too much of toothiness to it, it wants to grab the phonebook and take it with it. So this knife did okay on the phonebook, but I bet this is great for Charlie the tuna. It's Denka time. Fujiwara-san's knives in general are known for very, very fine, smooth edge out of box. And to be quite honest with you, I would assume that this won't do very good on the phonebook. Just gonna make sure it actually does a little better. Oh yeah, it's good. One is this beautiful surprise. As you can see on the video, the knife proves that you can have good smoothness to the edge, yet cut the phonebooks very well. This is the best of both worlds. It was so sharp and so much fun. I'm just going to keep on cutting up this phonebook. So, obvious winner of this challenge was Denka no Hoto by Teruyasu Fujiwara. It has got perfect balance of toothiness, smoothness, and outbed edge retention as well. The surprising second was Tojiro DP Nakiri. It has definitely got a lot more toothiness than the Denka, but it was cutting the phonebook so smooth. So if you have a Ferrari in your garage, you need the 4x4 as well. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't seen the edition of the monthly Sharp Knives Rock live show, you can check out this episode now.